Alrighty, boys and girls, we are back here with the On Deck Circle podcast, brought to you by the Fantasy Six Pack. Sorry, I was just talking to the boys backstage, and one of my friends, actually, Jake Devereaux, just told me that for his fantasy football league, they got a cameo of Andy Dick announcing their draft order, and it's just fantastic. Oh, sorry, that's my dog. Fran, shh. Come here. And Andy Dick announcing your draft order is just fantastic. So, without further ado, my first question today is going to go to my man, Jason. Jason, can you please come on camera?
Heck.
Isn't Andy Dick a good one?
That's a good one. That's a good
Andy
one.
Dick's a good one. But my question has nothing to do with Andy Dick. It does, however, have to do with terrible television. Do you have a TV show that either like your girlfriend or your wife, you are married, right? Oh, fuck. I think I lost you. I don't know if it's you or me. But is there a terrible TV show that you enjoy? Dave, can you try and come on and see if it's you, me?
Oh, it's not you. It's Jason.
It was Jason again.
That son of a bitch.
He gets the promotion. Oh.
Somebody's not happy.
My friend.
Jeez. Does that mean I got to answer 2 questions this week?
Hold on one second. I need a friend. Come here. Shh. Yes. So you can answer the first one. Do you have a terrible TV show that your girlfriend or ex-wife made you watch?
Made me watch.
Or like it was one of those things where you watched and then you were like kind of invested in it in like the background?
I mean, I have seen a couple. I don't know if I'd say seasons, but I've probably seen a full season of like Bachelor or Bachelorette. Yeah. I know one season I definitely watched like the whole thing.
Yep.
But I think I've only watched the one. Maybe I watched 2, maybe.
Recent or no?
I don't know. Probably, I mean, less than 10 years, more than 5.
Okay. All right. I love The Bachelor and The Bachelorette.
Yeah, that would be what I would say.
Okay. Jason, my guy.
Knock your shit off, Jason.
I know. I don't know what's going on. There's not even bad storms today. I guess I got to call the internet company or something.
Did you hear the question?
The bad TV, yeah.
Yeah. What's your bad TV show of choice?
I mean, as far as like I secretly watch it or it's bad and it's good?
Both, I guess.
I mean, I'm like a closet X-Files fan. That's always been like one of those like really nerdy but like super cool TV shows, I feel like. So
yeah. Fran,
we'll go with that for sure.
All right. I'm a Jersey Shore. There's a dog fight going on.
What? I didn't even notice.
I can't hear you. I think he was saying that he likes Jersey Shore, I think is what I got out of that.
I saw like one season of that.
So admittedly, I also agree with Nick. That's also a pretty bad television show that I've actually been suckered into watching. Right. So
oh yeah.
I'm back. Sorry about that, guys.
All right. Now, what's your legitimate question for me?
All right, legitimate question for you. Is there an album that you can listen to? You also strike me as a guy that might not like music, but an album that you can listen to like with no skips. Jason, you can also answer, but this is Dave's question.
I mean,
like you throw it on in the car and you're like, let's roll.
I mean, there's a couple of I can think of a couple people that I listen to that I like everything that they do. So like pretty much everything that Eminem does, I like everything that Linkin Park does, I like. But some of those Eminem albums get a little bit long, and I can't say I wouldn't skip over some of them.
Okay.
With Linkin Park though, I pretty much like all of it. So I guess I would say probably like Hybrid Theory is maybe an album that I probably wouldn't really skip over.
I did not anticipate either of those two answers. I was thinking you were going to be like the Allman Brothers or something.
I don't even know who that is. I don't even know who that is.
Jason, you?
Oh,
Michael
yeah.
Bublé.
I mean,
Yeah,
Dave had a good one. I do think, Eminem, the Slim Shady LP is a good one, the very first
Okay.
album. And then I'm a little bit more of like a, 90s, early 2000 hip hop. So I'll even go something with like Wu-Tang Clan, like 36 Chambers. So
Okay. Wow. I don't think I would have guessed that all three of us had the same music interest.
okay.
So that's
mean,
What's
exciting.
yours? What's yours, Nick?
Mine's actually not from that era at all.
Britney Spears, what?
No, I'm a big Kendrick Lamar fan.
Okay.
Okay.
So probably Good Kid, Mad City, just like straight through. I can really just go. Or Swimming by Mac Miller. Mac Miller is like my all-time favorite, just because like he was a white guy in the suburbs. I was a white guy in the suburbs, so I kind of had to like him. So anything from him, rest in peace, obviously. But that's all I got.
All right. Enough bullshit.
No more dogs barking.
No more bullshit. We're actually gonna get to a topic here. I'm gonna let Jason run through this again this week, but we're actually gonna start with a topic that Nick will like.
Yeah. I think Nick, I put this on the docket, not only first, but I'm also put it at the top of the list for Nick alone. But yeah, let's get right into it. Chris Sale of your Boston Red Sox is back after being out since March of 2020 when he underwent Tommy John surgery. The Red Sox have obviously taken their time with Sale as he has now missed 18 months, roughly. This is the type of spark, obviously, that the Red Sox need right now.
No, not
in the highly competitive AL East.
Oh, there it is.
But when it comes to Dynasty Baseball, not just talking about Red Sox here, Dynasty Baseball is the 33-year-old Chris Sale someone that can be trusted going forward? Do you think he can regain his dominant skill set? Because let's not forget, back in 2019 he had a season kind of to forget when he went 6-11 with a 4.4 ERA, 2 walks per 9, and a 20% home run to fly ball ratio. So, what are your guys' thoughts on Chris Sale, and can he regain his his former self?
I'll start with this one, Dave. Is that cool with you?
Oh, absolutely. I wasn't going to have it any other way.
Good. All right. I've never been so excited for a game against the Baltimore Orioles than I was on Saturday. It was just great. I don't know if you guys saw his comments at all, but he was emotional after that one. He was like, I've lost so much. I've never appreciated the game more. And a hungry Chris Sale is a scary Chris Sale for everyone else because he's terrifying. He's the guy that cut up the fucking jerseys and all that shit. But I don't know. Are you guys familiar with Dan Shaughnessy? He's like a writer for the Globe here. He's pretty well known-ish. And all he does is just shit on the Red Sox. And he was like, they gave him a cupcake opponent. You got the Yankees coming in. Yeah, you fucking need to.
Yeah, that's what you do. I mean,
literally the purpose of the Orioles is to bring people back and get them back in their zone. He looked great. He gave up some back-to-back homers, but that's fine. Like, it's not something I'm really overly concerned about. I am concerned just about the Red Sox in general. They fucking blew one today against the Yankees. They were a game back. It feels like 3 weeks ago I said they were 9 games back, and now I'm going to eat crow. But I'm excited that Sale's back. He's gonna punch him in the arm. But we finally got rid of Garrett Richards is out of the fucking rotation. We got Hawk in there, who Jason covered this week in one of his articles because he writes all of them. Jesus Christ, you're making me look like shit. But I'm excited. I'm ready for Sale's next start, which I think is Friday. Not positive, but I think it's Friday. So I'll return back with my Chris Sale report next week once he plays a real team.
Once he plays a real team, huh? I mean, one thing I'll say about the Red Sox in general is, they obviously didn't do like much at the deadline, but getting back Chris Sale would be the equivalent of, Max Scherzer. So, I mean, yeah, they didn't make a move for that, but, they kind of had that in his back pocket or, in their back pocket a little bit. I mean, for Max Sale, or Max Sale, Jesus, for Chris Sale. I've always been, pretty high on him. I would say probably higher than most. I mean, he's a pitcher, but up until he got hurt, I guess, he had been one of the more reliable guys, in the league. He's 102nd in my ranking, so right around the top 100. Him being healthy and coming back is only going to move him up. I think he's younger than most people think he is. He's still only 32 years old. So it's not like, he's coming back and, he finishing out his career. He's still got, at least if all goes well, at least a solid 5 years, you would think. Yeah. And, kind of oddly enough, as far as, how long he has left to go, I think that him missing that year, oddly enough, could kind of help him in a little bit of aspect of he hasn't thrown in a year. Mm-hmm. So I don't know that that'll necessarily prolong his career by a year, kind of just skipped a year. But, now that he's back, I don't look at the Tommy John as a negative unless, he gets hurt really quick and, then he very well is done. But, now that he's back, I kind of look at him as just, a 32-year-old pitcher with, a semi-fresh arm. I mean, he's thrown a lot of innings over his career, but, he's a guy I think that you can probably pretty safely rely on in, dynasty circles to be a SP1 probably for 3 to 5 years. Yeah. I mean, when Chris Sale's healthy, it doesn't get a whole lot better than him. All right, let's talk about our favorite team on this podcast. We seem to talk about him every week.
Yeah, seriously. So let's jump to the next guy here. Trevor Larnach was the last week. The former first-round pick made his debut earlier this season, which I believe we discussed in an earlier episode when he made his debut.
Yep.
But yeah, however, the Twins' top prospect has up and down so far in his young career. He's currently only hitting .223 with 7 home runs, and he's striking out 35% of the time. Since the All-Star break, he's been hitting a pitiful 167 with no home runs. So clearly the demotion was warranted. But what do you guys think? Will Larnach be able to bounce back? Do we see him again in the big leagues this season, maybe in September? Is Larnach someone you guys think that could ever be a top 50 outfielder in Dynasty? Or is he more just kind of like a waiver wire fodder and organizational depth?
I mean, Larnach, for me, he's still ranked relatively high. I mean, he's 234th. So, that's nothing to sneeze at. But a lot of that, stems from, the production that we saw from him at the minor league level. In the minor leagues, I mean, he's been absolutely, killing it. He's had roughly a, full season in the minors. He had 172 games. And if you were to, put that all together, we're talking about 306 average, which is obviously great. 384 on base, which is fucking phenomenal. 473 slug. 20 home runs, basically 100 RBIs, 7 stolen bases. So that would be a pretty decent year. But of course, major league level, it's been a whole different ball game. And my fear, and I'm not saying that this is necessarily the case, but my fear is that he's more of maybe one of those 4A guys, a guy who is too good for the minor leagues, but, possibly is a little bit outmatched at the big league level. Now, like I said, with that in mind, we're still looking at a relatively small sample size, at the big league level. He's only had 260 at-bats, which isn't a ton. He's done a little bit of damage, but not what you would expect. He also doesn't have a phenomenal, lineup around him. At this point, it's not a bad Twins lineup, but that kind of stuff really, really helps, a young player. But, like I say, absolutely he's killed the minor leagues in 2018-19. Doesn't really have, any outstanding tool, across the board. He's got, average tools, which isn't a bad thing. I don't think he'll ever be, a dynasty star just because he's not going to lead the way in any one spot. But he's also not really going to kill you anywhere. So, that's why he was sitting at about, 234 for me, which puts him in, reasonable territory, guy that, you would like to roster, but not a guy that you're going to rely on. So we will see. I think you're going to get a better version of Larnach. I don't know that it'll be this year. Might be 2 or 3 years down the road. Might take him a while to get traction, but we're not going to see those minor league numbers. That's just not going to happen.
I couldn't agree more, Dave.
I know I took all the words right out of your mouth.
Like,
everything you were gonna say,
every
damn it.
little thing. I have all these notes right here written on my hand.
You read them off earlier?
Yeah, when I was.
Yeah. Right.
But he's a guy that I really loved for first year player drafts. He was someone that I really wanted. I didn't get anywhere, but I think he's too good to be this bad, if that makes any sense at all. He's not going to be what he is in AAA because that's very unlike, you can't replicate that.
Most people don't know. I mean,
and it's just he was too good in AAA, so expectations were too high. He's really somewhere in the middle of where he was and where he is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's not going to be a waiver wire guy. He'll be like if he's like your third outfielder, he'll be great. If he's your second outfielder, he'll be like, you probably could do better.
Yeah. All right. This might be one of the things I most look forward to is I want to hear Jason pronounce this name. So, Jason, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, let's get into the next topic here. Another pitcher coming off the long-term IL is Atlanta's Huascar Ynoa.
There we go.
Hey.
You like that? Yeah.
That ain't bad.
Yeah, I'm just going to stick to the last name, that Ynoa.
Yeah, please do.
Out for the last 3 months after suffering a fractured hand when he actually punched the bench in anger.
Fucking idiot.
Yeah, so he's scheduled to make his return tonight against the Marlins. Ynoa is interesting because he's someone that kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, he never really had that top prospect tagged along with him. So he kind of came out of nowhere last year, made his debut. Just kind of had a mediocre 2020 and only a handful of starts. But then again, he had a little bit of a breakout earlier this year, and kind of people's heads kind of turned when he went 4-2 with a 3.02 ERA, 1.05 WHIP, 50 strikeouts, and only 11 walks. So kind of curious to see what you guys think. Is Ynoa someone that Dynasty gamers should be excited about? Is this someone that you've had on your IL that you kind of put in your lineup right now and be like, hey, this guy might be able to help me finish off the a run here at the end of the season here? Or is this something you can look at even long term as a middle of the rotation kind of arm that you can count on?
Yeah, so he's interesting. He's still just 23 years old, so that's about as early as you really see prospects come up. And he definitely had early success this year at the big league level. Quite surprisingly, even with his bat, which I know we don't really care about, but it is kind of funny. But like you echoed, his stats at the beginning of the year were pretty nice. I definitely like the 50 strikeouts in 44 innings. Not amazing, but that's what you want to see. And even more so, you'd like to see the 11 walks there. That's not too bad, keeping his WHIP just over 1. So that's fantastic. For me, he still is 549th in the ranking, so he's got a long ways to go. I'm more concerned than optimistic. His advanced metrics, when you look at him, even with how great of a season he got off to at the start, he is in the bottom 25% of everything that's important for the most part. Nice on the K percentage, nice on the walk percentage. So he might have a little bit of room to grow, but when you're in the bottom 25% of like everything, there's a lot of concern there. So, I'd have to look up like his xERA and all that kind of stuff to see exactly what kind of regression there is to expect, but there's going to be some. So I wouldn't get too excited and go crazy on this guy. He's still depending on the depth of your league, you can consider him probably an SP 4, maybe a 5. So I wouldn't go crazy, but if he can keep these ratios in line, that's very valuable. I just don't think you're going to see him anywhere near like the 3 ERA and the 1 WHIP. Maybe 4.5 and 1.3 is what you'd expect, which is right around league average.
Yeah, I agree. I actually had him. Notice I say had in my in another 30-team league I'm in. I'm in like the hunt there. I'm like probably like a game out of the playoffs, and this is the last week. But at the deadline, I traded him for Brendan Crawford just because I really needed a shortstop. And Crawford's been great, but I thought I not stole Crawford, but I think Crawford's a far better fantasy player for me right now. Is fine. He's not gonna. I don't like you said, he's like a SP4 if on your team or a 5. If he's anything higher than that, your team sucks. So that's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty fair swap. I mean, again, when it's fairly close to even in a vacuum, give me the hitter over the pitcher. So I do have Crawford ranked lower, but Crawford might be a little bit misranked. I don't know that he's as good as he's been this year. Yeah, exactly. 23-year-old pitcher that's performing at the big league level, that becomes valuable, even if it's the guy that you're going to regress. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't regress as much as we think. So I guess it will be kind of interesting. I'm a little more interested in the next guy, Jason.
Yeah. Admittedly, this has been one of the topics that's been omitted the past couple of weeks as we've been talking, trade deadline and news and other topics. But the Angels' first-round pick from 2020, left-handed pitcher Reid Detmers, was actually called up to make his major league debut just one season after being drafted. Detmers had an absolute dominant start to his minor league career so far. In only 13 starts, he was 3-4 with a 3.15 ERA, 18 walks to 106 Ks, and only 60 innings pitched.
Yeah,
which is good, and that was good enough for 16 K per 9. That's actually really shocking and nice to see.
Yeah, and that's a lot of it. That's at Double-A, so it's not like he was doing that in like Low A or something where you'll see guys put up some funky numbers.
Yeah,
Double-A is where you want to see that.
Yeah, I mean, he had back-to-back starts for Double-A where he combined for 30 strikeouts. He had a 14 strikeout game and a 16 strikeout game.
That's crazy.
So, now in his first 2 starts, they were pretty rough as he gave up 11 earned runs in the 2 starts, but he never made it past the 5th inning. However, in his most recent start, it was much better as he went 6 strong innings with 6 strikeouts, 2 walks, and earned his first major league win.
Yeah.
What are your guys' thoughts on Detmers? What's his dynasty outlook going forward? Does he stick with the Angels the rest of 2021? And obviously his, future outlook.
I'm gonna just be completely honest with everybody right here.
Never heard of Reid Detmers.
Nope, I've heard of Reid Detmers, but I can't say that I'm like really overly familiar with him. Like I understand that he was like a first rounder last year, and I understand that he was tearing it up, but I really don't know anything.
Side note here.
So educate me.
Side note, I actually took him as my first round, first year player draft in the 30 Rock. So I own him in 30 Rock.
Your team's doing great.
Where did you draft him?
I got him 20th overall.
Oh, that's not bad value.
Not bad, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a little on the low end of probably where he should have gone. So that's a good pickup.
Yep.
He's 312th in my rankings now. That was promotion, so I don't know. He'll probably bump up a little bit, but he's got a really nice 4-pitch mix, which is what you're looking for from a young starter. His best pitch is by far his curveball. Definitely a plus, maybe a plus out pitch. Gets really great shape on that pitch. That's going to be a kind of pitch that he definitely is going to be able to rely on to get strikeouts. I think at the big league level, his fastball is in good shape. You're looking at about 94 on the fastball with a little bit of movement. Not bad. He commands it pretty decently. Especially you can see with those minor league numbers. One thing at the minor league level for pitchers, that I'm looking at. Yes, I want to see him strike a lot of guys out. I don't really give a shit what their ERA is. I don't really give a shit what their whip is. But I like to see lots of strikeouts. More importantly, I like to see few walks. Mm-hmm. And so, he checks the boxes there. He's got a changeup, that has nice sink on it. If I'm going to throw a changeup, I either want a lot of, horizontal movement or I want the sink. Give me the sink, I guess, in today's, day and age. And then he's got a slider that he worked on, has been working on since he got drafted. So, if he can, take that really good curveball, can command that fastball well, if he can get either that changeup or that slider to be an average pitch, if he can get them both to be average, you're looking at an SP2 upside for sure. I don't know that he has SP1. I just don't know that that's there for him, but an SP2, maybe, really solid, SP3 for you. In the meantime, I could see him becoming, a decent pitcher. Angels need one really badly. So, yeah. Of all teams, they just got
their best pitcher.
Yeah, I know, right? But they could really use him. And he's got some upside there. So I definitely like it. But what I like more, Jason, is the next topic.
I do have a question though. Sorry.
As a Tigers fan,
can you give me a comp on Reid?
Oh,
why do you ask for? Listen, if you're going to ask for fucking comps,
I know.
Ask before the goddamn show.
Well, it's better if I get your first one.
Candid, it's too hard.
I know.
So comps are really difficult, Nick. I don't dare really throw a comp out just out of the blue. That's one of those I feel like I need to think about it.
Yeah, I usually think
because that's hard just to give you a comp without comps are not something that a lot of people excel at, and I'm in that crowd. So next week when you want a comp on the down on the farm, and the group chat say, "Hey guys, I'm going to ask you for a comp," and then we'll go from there. Sound good?
Hey,
just to throw it out there, I'll give you Zach Greinke just to make you happy.
Okay, thank you.
Greinke's not left-handed.
Okay, I'm not. You put me on the spot here.
That's terrible. No, move it on. See, this is why you don't do it on the spot.
See,
this is why you don't try and help me, Jason.
No, you keep calling my comps horrible, and I'm going to keep throwing them out there just so we can call them horrible.
Well, give me a good comp. Mike Trout.
Well, that's just not ridiculous.
They're both Angels.
No, you can't. No more comp talk without prior approval. Now, can we talk about my Tigers? God damn it!
I had to throw Nick a bone, so I figured I'd throw Dave a bone this week too. We'll talk about topics. Okay, yeah, you're right. We combine them a little bit, but we had to give Dave
a real party in here.
Yeah. Yeah, but his next topic, the Tiger fan and us and Dave here I'm sure is happy about this. So
I got Torque bat back here, a Torque ball. I got Riley Greene stuff. I got you. What do you want to see?
Yeah, so both Torkelson and Riley Greene were promoted to AAA this past week, as both of them and coincidentally had monster weeks. We'll start with Riley first. Dating back to August 8th at AA, he batted .467 with an insane 1.649 OPS, 5 home runs, 10 runs, 15 RBIs, 9 extra base hits, and only struck out 6 times in 33 plate appearances. And then for the first overall pick last year, Torkelson, on the other hand, during that same time frame, which I think his 8th was last Saturday or Sunday, whatever, he batted .423, 4 home runs, 8 runs, 9 RBIs, and an OPS of 1.385. So after both those astronomical weeks, they were promoted to AAA, which some could argue is ahead of their projected timeline, but I guess you can't argue with the production, as both have seemed ready for the next level. But I guess we'll start with Dave here. What are your long-term outlooks for both Riley and Torkelson? And do we see Torkelson or Riley in September?
No to September. That's not happening. A fun fact, though, before we get into it, Riley Greene has a verified Twitter account, and Spencer Torkelson does not.
Ooh,
who knew, right? Isn't that interesting? But these are two guys that just like the Angels need Reid Detmers, the Tigers really need Riley Greene and Spencer Torkelson. So I'll go Greene first as well. I've got Greene at 80th in my dynasty rankings, and that's not being a Detroit Tigers homer. That's where he's at, man. I'm concerned with his strikeout rate. We're looking at a 30% K rate so far this year for the kind of bat that he was, projected to be coming out of high school. That's a little high. I don't necessarily see it improving, as he moves up levels, but it could. It might be one of those things where, his strikeout rate is a little bit troubling until he acclimates at the big league level. And, you might see a year or two down the road before that gets to be above average as opposed to below average. But I'll be curious to see exactly how he starts off at AAA, the rest of the year. He's had great numbers on the season, 16 home runs, 12 stolen bases. Stolen bases are definitely a pleasant surprise. I don't think that speed carries over to the big league level very much. He's going to be a guy that's going to be, good in average, good on base for you, probably going to get you 20, 25 home runs. And, especially in his, first half of his career, he'll probably still get you a handful of steals. But, when you look at his numbers at the minor league level, you might think, oh, this guy might be a 20-20 guy. That's just not going to happen. He probably is going to bat somewhere atop or maybe in the middle of that Tigers lineup. He seems like he'd be a really nice 2 or 3 hitter. Spencer Torkelson, on the other hand, he comes in 41st in my rankings. So he is way up there. He actually had a very slow start to the season, to the point of some concern for a while. But he's been on a tear for the past few months. His power, his calling card has really started to show through. Absolutely phenomenal on base skills. So, and on base, leagues, he definitely gets a boost there. He's just going to be, 0 or close to it on the bases. You're not going to expect, more than just, your couple of random steals that, players get throughout the season. But, what you're getting him for is, he's got a 40 home run bat. He's going to do it while he's hitting 300 right in the middle of that Tigers order. So, everything but steals from him. He's going to be, Vladimir Guerrero Jr.-esque. I don't know that he's going to get to that level necessarily, but he's going to have that kind of a profile where if he's got everything clicking, he still probably is never going to have the chance to be the best player in baseball because he's not going to steal you bags, but he very well is going to contribute at a very high level everywhere else.
All right, Dave.
Nick, what do you got to add to that?
All right.
The professionals.
I feel like I did the same thing with Walker Buehler. Riley Greene and Spencer Torkelson.
Let me guess, they're good?
Going to be good
Wow.
Major League Baseball.
Oh, let me write this down. Hold on.
Take notes.
Hold on. Okay, what was
All
that?
right.
I'm ready.
Riley Greene,
Well, how do you spell that?
RILEY GREENE.
Yeah.
And then you can do the little and with
And
the three thing.
Ampersand?
Ampersand.
Gotcha.
Yep. Oh, thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
Spencer
Hashtag Wheel of Fortune.
SPENCER Torkelson, or
Yeah.
Torque, if you will,
Yeah.
Torque.
will also be
Also.
a good Major League Baseball player.
Good.
Heard it here first.
Is that GUD?
Good.
Good?
Gouda,
Good.
kind of like a cheese.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I wrote it down. Thank you.
I don't see 40 homers,
Oh,
but
you think 50? Oh, wow. Okay. 50 home runs.
I think like 38.
Oh,
He looks like a 38 guy.
Yeah, he's just playing in Comerica. That is a home. That is
Yeah.
not a place you want to hit home runs in. He's going to lead the fucking league in doubles.
Yeah. And I still think it's by the time he's playing, which will be next year, no one's stealing bases. So it's fine.
No one.
You
He'll
couldn't
be
steal him. If you could make the bases 80 feet, he still wouldn't steal. So, I mean, it's just no offense. It's just not going to happen,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I do really like Riley Greene though. I feel like obviously he's not slept on, but like he's gonna be very fucking good.
I'll tell you, I saw Riley Greene 2 years ago play quite a bit because he was in low A at the time. And that's where, he came to Lansing a few different times. And his swing scared the shit out of me. He had this weird little hitch in his swing. And he wasn't hitting well at all. And people were getting really concerned because that was supposed to be his calling card, was this hit tool. And he just looked funky to me. And I was like, oh shit. Like what did we get ourselves into here? And then that's gone away. And he has been phenomenal. And he's been the guy that we've all thought he was going to be. But when I watched him the first probably, 20, 25 at bats, I was like, oh no, like this isn't, how does he have that kind of a hit tool with this? His swing was a little funky, but we're past that point now. So,
Good.
All right. So this is going to be good for both of you because Jason gets to talk and do his Down on the Farm. And Nick, you get to listen to the song.
Down on the farm.
still gets me every time. Love it.
right in the fields,
Yeah.
boys.
Yeah, so this week we're going to be talking about Hedbert Perez of the Milwaukee Brewers. The 18-year-old Perez was an underrated signing by the Brewers during the 2019-2020 international class. He's a left-handed outfielder, and he currently ranks as the Brewers' third prospect via MLB Pipeline. He's got a solid to above-average approach at the plate. He also has decent raw power for his size. I think he's only still young, so it's kind of hard to say about his size, but whatever. He boasts about an above-average speed. It should allow him to stick in center field, and he could also contribute some stolen bases. He's currently playing at the Arizona Complex League, so it's real low competition, but young guys, and but he's having great success. In 22 games, he's slashing 326, 376, and a slugging of 616. home runs, 16 RBIs, 2 stolen bases. And that included a game last week where he went 5 for 6 with 2 doubles, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs. Not only that, the Brewers actually invited him to their alternate training site last year as a 17-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells you pretty much what the Brewers think of this kid. They're pretty high on him, and so am I. So I don't know. What do you think, Dave?
I want Nick to go first. I want let Nick have his run, and then I'll go.
All right.
My run. We both know this will be fast.
I know.
But
Your wife knows that too.
I don't have a wife.
Okay.
My lovely
It's probably 'cause
girlfriend also knows it's going to be fast. Yes.
No,
Nick.
I was going to say, maybe that's why you don't have a wife yet.
No, it's just my own choice. But anyway, Hedbert, guy that I actually, so this will be full circle for me. I actually traded Chris Sale at the beginning of this season for Hedbert Perez. Not straight up.
And okay. I was going to say there better be a fucking and.
It wasn't good. It was Hedbert.
Well, yeah, of course. You don't make good trades, so of course it wasn't good.
Burdick and first, and I don't have any of those players still left. It all worked out. I now have Zach Wheeler and stuff with all those things moved. But Hedbert was someone that I was targeting all offseason in every single league. He was just a guy that you see a lot of helium with him because I looked at how, as Jason said, they invited him to the alt site, and that was a big indication of just it's a big deal when people are putting their money and assets into other players, like into players. So if they're like spent the time to get him to work closer to them, I guess you could say. But he's been killing it this year. I kind of regret trading him again, but like it's fine.
So I don't want to name drop, so I won't. But
I'm
not going to name drop. I had a prominent name in the fantasy community actually reach out to me. Yeah. Oh, okay, fair. Yeah, okay. Well, you know who it is, so that makes sense. But asked me, he reached out to me because it was Ralph. Or Jeff.
There was so many different things that this could have been interpreted.
Yeah. Reached out to me and asked me about my ranking on Hedbert Perez because I am low on him. He's 813th in my rankings, and on this particular individual's rankings, I think he's like 200 and something. Like I don't know. Yeah, I think it's somewhere around 250, we'll say. But so we've got a big gap. And for me, I get scared about these international guys a lot of times because most of them don't pan out. Jason Dominguez scares me, or Jason Dominguez. Oh, that's right. Dominguez. He scares me. Awesome. I as soon as I get high on a guy like Christian Robinson, shit happens with him. Mm-hmm. I get high on Eric Pena, and he just falls apart. And people are so high on Hedbert Perez, and I'm not even saying that that's wrong at all, because it's not. But we need to slow down a little bit. This kid, for all the hype he's getting right now, he's got 86 professional at-bats in the U.S. And granted, those are a very impressive 86 at-bats, but, guys, that's 22 games. Like, that's like a hot month. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Does he deserve to be higher than 813th in my rankings when I do him again? Yes. I like to see things from guys before I just put them up on the map. Usually, it's usually more so pitching than hitting. But I don't know, man. I just get like some Eric Pena vibes, and it scares me. So I'm going to bump him up just because he deserves it. But he's not going to 250. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like he's just not yet. So I like I said, I am a little bit concerned about him. I mean, he wasn't, super highly regarded in the 2019 J2 class. That concerns me, a little bit. Mm-hmm. He should stick in center field just because, the Brewers are very up the middle centric, and he's got the speed, to be able to do so. I could see a 30-30, potential for this kid. I mean, he does have that kind of upside. I'm just nowhere near ready to call anything, close to that. He's got a very long ways to go I mean, he's not even playing low A ball, yet. So we've got to see him against some much better competition before I can put him, anywhere in the 250 range personally. So I'm excited for him. I would love to own him in some leagues, but it's kind of like Tyler Glass now, where I would not pay half the price what it would take to Tyler Glass now. It's kind of the same thing with Perez. If somebody owns him now, they either were high on him or they went out of their way to get him. So
would you sell him?
Would I sell him? I would sell him, yes.
Yeah.
But there's no way I would own him at this point. I'm too low on him compared to others to be able to own him. But if I did, if you want to give me a top 400 asset right now, you could probably just about pick someone in the 400s, and I would probably take it here. I'll randomly pick a guy in the 400s.
Give me 4.
Ooh, that's not good. Rowdy Tellez.
Nope.
I probably would hold on to him for that. But like Josiah Gray is there, Luis Campuzano,
and you hate pitchers, so that's
Daniel Espino.
Yep, I take Espino.
All these guys are right in that range. So it's not to necessarily knock on him. It's just everyone gets so high on these guys, and we haven't seen anything from him at all. And the fail rate is so high on prospects in general, but prospects in his mold, I think, are also kind of scary because he either could be a 30-30 guy for a few years and have a great MLB career, or he could be
quadruple A.
He could just be quadruple A at best. Exactly. So we shall see. I'm low man on him. With all these guys, I hope you're right. I would love if everyone turned into a Hall of Famer.
Right.
Like that'd be awesome. I don't wish bad on anybody. I don't know anything about this kid, and I don't wish him poorly by any means. But I'm not there yet.
Just not for you. That's fine.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
Could be, but as of right now, no, not yet. All right, boys.
All right.
Well, how do we want to wrap this up? Anyone have any final thoughts here?
It's a sad day in the Beckner household. I've now found out that
your internet sucks. We already knew that. We found that out last week, and it's been confirmed this week.
Yeah, last week I can blame it on the storms. This week I have no reason why. I don't know.
But why is it a sad day, Jason?
I've been following myself watching the White Sox more than the Cubs, guys.
Oh no!
Yeah,
the White Sox are so fun.
They're at least watching competitive baseball,
Yeah.
So I have some also sad news.
Oh, geez.
I spent the weekend in Detroit because Miguel Cabrera is sitting on 499 home runs,
and Detroit sucks. So
and I watched him. I watched him fly out a few times. I watched him get hit by a pitch. I watched him hit a home run foul down the right field line, and I watched everything except for home run number 500. So fuck me, huh?
Yeah.
You get your Cade Cunningham jersey yet?
No, I don't. I don't care.
Oh, all right. No,
well, I mean, when they start making the playoffs and stuff, then I'll start caring. But until then,
well, speaking of basketball playoffs, tonight my Boston Celtics are fighting for a summer league championship.
Oh boy, congratulations!
And you know what's terribly sad is I'm gonna fucking watch it.
Listen, man, if I would have been able to, I'd have watched Cade Cunningham and Jalen Greene the other night.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if it was the other night. It was like a week ago.
No, yeah. That was fun, though.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. So
something happened to Chris Bassett. Hold on 1 second.
Breaking news. Has he been traded in 30 Rock? Or
sending prayers to Chris Bassett. Oh, he was struck in the head by a line drive and got carted off the field.
Oh, that's I don't like that kind of stuff. We have to just watch it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
On that note.
Yeah, okay. On that note,
shit. Yeah,
we will be back next week.
Yep.
And I got to be on the farm, boys.
I'm going to be down the Cape. I'm going to be live from the Cape. My grandpa might be making an appearance.
So I fucking hope he does. Oh, he better.
We want his take on Dave's on the farm.
All right. We will ask my grandpa whatever questions you want.
I want him to ask the question of the week to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Sure.
So I don't even care if you show up. Yeah. I want Poppy.
All right.
All right.
The Big Poppy will be in the building.
All right. Till next week, boys.
See you, boys.